want to improve your speaking skills to become a good speaker? Hi, dear learners. This is your teacher Leda, and welcome to our oral communication class. Are you excited? But wait, you need to know the different type of speeches according to purpose. In this lesson, you are able to learn the different types of speeches according to purpose. To differentiate the types of speeches according to purpose. Let's check how far you know the lesson that we are about to discuss. Try to look at this video.
I've never understood how imagining the audience naked was supposed to make you less nervous. Honestly, I'm just uncomfortable right now, especially with Mr. Wardle. Okay, to ensure clear communication with this social media generation, hashtags and pop culture references will be used. Hashtag you're welcome. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today is an exciting day. Today I'm going to give you a speech. Now, graduates, I don't know if you know me, but I'm Chase. We went to high school together. That was good times. Follow me on Twitter. And I want to give a big congratulations to everyone, including myself, for being here today. The world that we live in is plagued with dangers. Ebola, ISIS, global warming, facial acne, and despite all the odds, we still managed to graduate. So let's give us a big round of applause. It was only 3 years ago that we came to the labyrinth known as Weber High. As young, timid sophomores, we found ourselves lost in its halls like they were the changing staircases of Hogwarts. We danced to lyrics we did not understand in the song Gangnam Style. We said YOLO and cray cray as if we were supposed to. Thank goodness we have Yeet now. We anticipated our cataclysmic doom at the end of 2012. And back then, Weber High School had no windows. Oh wait, it still doesn't. Oh. I know, it was a cliche joke, but it was still necessary. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Though nervous as sophomores, we started getting a hang of things, and junior year, for many of us, brought experience. And for many more of us, it meant stage 1 senioritis. And now, here we are, done with high school. As Charles Dickens put it, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. But now we are through with the stressful days of AP and ACT testing. We've raised tens of thousands of dollars for quarters and cans and inhaled hundreds of pounds of baby powder during football. We have survived WHS screenshots. And last but not least, we have realized that we are the most attractive class ever. As our student body president, Micah Meyer, has observed, quote, "One might say we've aged well." And now as seniors listening to me deliver this brilliant graduation speech, we are through, afflicted and overwhelmed with senioritis. Now, at the end of our careers as students, we have an opportunity. Now's our time to take on the world and to find and pursue our passions, to quote-unquote leave a legacy. William Shakespeare and also Channing Tatum once said, "Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them." In life, we can't always count on being born great or having greatness thrust upon us, but always remember that the opportunity to achieve greatness is within our grasp. Keep in mind that many of our social and political leaders and heroes started their lives as an average person, as just one of you and me. Despite the failures and mistakes we will make, and although we may be average, we find that the average can achieve greatness, whether recognized by the world or just a few. Greatness comes from our friends reaching out to us, those who go out of their way to be thoughtful, the unsung heroes. If there's anything you take from today, remember that to leave a legacy and to achieve greatness is not to get money and recognition, it's to leave those with whom you cross paths with a little more happiness and hope. Our time here together as a senior class will not be remembered by grades, popularity, likes, or favorites, but by our relationships. The kind of person you were. These are legacies, the kind we must leave. Class of 2015, it's been a hashtag splendid 3 years with you. And from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the very, very, very best. Thank you.
What do you think is the event? What is the speaker's purpose in his speech? Yes, you are right. It is a graduation speech. And the purpose of the speaker in his speech is to inform. Speech is the communication or expression of thoughts in spoken words. Types of speech according to purpose: informative, entertainment, persuasive. Informative speech provides the audience with clear understanding of a concept or ideas. Transmit ideas in clear and objective manner. It provides interesting and useful information. This speech is intended to present information, to clarify things, and to secure understanding. Speaker aims to transmit information in an objective manner. Example, lectures of your teacher. Entertainment, a speech that amuses the audience. It intends to captivate the audience's attention. Example, humorous speeches of comedians and performers. Persuasive speech seeks to improve the audience with favorable or acceptable ideas that can influence their own ideas and decisions. Involves persuading someone to change their opinion. Example, campaign speeches of running candidates for government posts. Try to look at this video.
Honorable judges, respected teachers, and my fellow Americans, with highest respect and great honor to one of the greatest nonviolent leaders in world history, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I am starting my speech today with a little imagination. Let's imagine, just for a second, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is alive today. By seeing today's society, the racial distrust among ourselves that we are carrying every day, the bigotry, the hatred, the intolerance we are having today, Dr. King would not sit idle. He would say nothing but the same words he spoke 50 years ago. The way he started his movement, he would do it again. He would not allow us to keep our mouths shut. He would encourage us to take a clear side. He would make the same legendary statement that he made on March 8th, 1965. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. These words define the lifespan of our society. With this current distrust, our society is moving towards the dark days of history once again. So let us be loud and make the dreams of those waiting come true. Waiting for a time where the world is better than it is now. Waiting for a time where the world changes from what it was back then. 50 years from Dr. King's passing, and we're still fighting for the Black Lives Matter movement. Times times like the Charlottesville events, when a car plowed over protesters, making a split in our nation once again. We hear Dylan Roof's confronting words after shooting 9 people in a church. These are unthinkable events happening today. And according to Dr. King's teachings, these are what matter most in our society. Today, we don't really have the choice whether we be active or silent. If we really want our world to change, then we must come together to make these things happen. As Dr. King once said, we may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. Well, it looks as though that boat is sinking, and only together can we fix it. And if we want to live in modern civil society, then we must learn to coexist with the path shown by Dr. King. Dr. King taught us to stick with love. He said hate is too great a burden to bear. Deep love can replace the deep disappointment. He taught to forgive. He stated forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a constant attitude. My fellow Americans and friends, like they used to say, Nero fiddled while Rome burned. Our America is burning too. And we cannot just sit around and play the violin like King Nero. We must raise our voice for the equality of race. We must be vocal against all injustices. We must protest discrimination of any kind. We need to follow the path of Dr. King, to keep our country from repeating history again. Dr. King, we promise we will not fail you and your cause. We promise we will stop this racial discrimination. We walk through your path, so we will not be silent. The United States of America will stay united. Thank you.
What type of speech, according to purpose, is used by the author in his speech? Why do you say so? If you are to deliver the speech in public, how would you do the presentation? Watch the video, then complete the table with correct answers.
I believe we can keep the promise of our founding. The idea that if you're willing to work hard, it doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or what you look like, or where you love. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white, or Hispanic, or Asian, or Native American, or young or old, or rich or poor, able, disabled, gay or straight. You can make it here in America if you're willing to try. We can seize this future together, because we are not as divided as our politics suggests. We're not as cynical as the pundits believe. We are greater than the sum of our individual ambitions, and we remain more than a collection of red states and blue states. We are and forever will be the United States of America. And together, with your help and God's grace, we will continue our journey forward and remind the world just why it is that we live in the greatest nation on earth. Thank you, America. God bless you. God bless these United States.
You and I are not very different from this flower, just like this flower is unique. You are unique. All of us has something special that makes us as beautiful. Do you know what makes you special? Now, the answer to that can be a little difficult to find, because sometimes life has a cruel way of picking out your petals, breaking you in two, and throwing you into the trash. And when you're broken, it's very difficult to feel special. Mr. Contest Chair, my fellow flowers, I can remember the first time I broke. I was 17 years old. I had already flunked high school and managed to get myself arrested. Now, I wasn't afraid of the cops, but there was one person I was very afraid of, and that was my mama. Raise your hand if you have an emotional mother. Let me see. Put them all together, you get mama. I can hear her scream outside the police station. Even the cops were afraid. She came up to me, held the iron bars, looked into my eyes, and I saw a tear coming down her face. Now, I've seen my mama cry before, but mothers cry 3 types of tears. Tears of joy, tears of sorrow, and tears of shame. And when a son sees a mother cry tears of shame, that's a life-changing moment. She looked at me and said, "Son, I want you to be a better man." That night, when I drove home, my dad was waiting for me at home. Now, my dad is a cool dad. Raise your hand if you have a cool dad. Put them all together, you get my dad. My dad came up to me and said, "Son, it's okay. You flunked your exams. You already got arrested. That's fine. You get that from your mother's side. I want you to start working immediately." And I said, "Okay." So my dad took me to meet one of his friends called Sam. Now, Sam was an accountant who had an accounting firm and had generously decided to make me his personal assistant. And there he was. He looked like a teddy bear. But this man was special. I looked at him and he looked at me. And then he said the most amazing thing. He said, "Son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you decide to work with me, I can help you find that something." And I was like, "Whoa, that's the first time in my whole life somebody has ever told they see something in me." And I started working for Sam. And every day after work, he used to tell me stories about the world, about history, about culture, about philosophy. And it was much more interesting than what I learned in school. And I discovered I can dream. And I started dreaming, ladies and gentlemen. After 1 year, I went back into high school, completed my exams, and went into college. After successfully completing college, I found a great girl, but not a job. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Have you ever had that problem? And when you're lost, it's difficult to feel special. So I went back to my cool dad. And I said, "Dad, I feel lost." He said, "You are like your mother." So my dad introduced me to this strange club that had a strange name, with strange people talking. On the first meeting, they told me to do something called a table topic. I aced it. But while I was speaking, I see a strange man seated in the back row. Humble, simple. The unfailing quality of kindness in his eyes. As soon as I finished, he walked up to me, looked me dead straight in the eye, and said, "Son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you come here twice a month, maybe we can find that something." And ladies and gentlemen, I discovered I could speak, and I love speaking. And that led me to become a teacher. I know what it's like to not have enough money in your bank account. I know what it's like to worry when the bills start coming in. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up my beautiful wife and I ask her, "Honey, why did you marry me?" She says, "I saw something in you. But I still don't know what it is." Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm a dreamer, I'm a speaker, and I learned the unfailing quality of unconditional love from my wife. I was broken, and I've been broken, lost, and broke many times in my life. But the people in my life were able to reach into the trash can and make me whole again. If it was up to me, I would have never been able to do that. And this is why, if you have great people in your life, no matter how broke, how lost, or how broken you become, they can piece you back together. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at you, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. Over to you.
Man makes the mistakes, and mistakes make the man. You and I were born to make mistakes. By virtue of being human, it's in our DNA. But as we like to say in Kenya, I was born special. Have you ever made a huge mistake in your life? If you have, say aye. Aye. Now count all those ayes and multiply them by a factor of 2 to the power of 87.5 times infinity squared. That's how many mistakes I've made in my life. You see, Thomas Edison tried 10,000 times before he finally made the light bulb. I've made 10,000 mistakes and I still haven't had my light bulb moment. You all know Mark Zuckerberg? That's me with mistakes. Only if I had my own social media site, it would be called Mistake Book. You know Steve Jobs? That's me with mistakes. Only my name would be Steve Can't Get a Job. But I wasn't always like this. Maybe the reason for all my mistakes began long before I was born. 9 months, to be precise. You see, by mistake, my parents told me that I was a mistake. But they kept me, thank God for that. The night before I was born, my father was having a party at my house, his house. The drinks were flowing, the music was thumping, everyone was having a good time. In fact, they slept at 2 a.m., but I would have none of it. By 5 a.m., my mother's water broke. She turned over in bed and tapped my father and said, "George, it's happening. We need to go now." My father must have thought he was dreaming because he mumbled in his sleep, "It's okay. We'll go in the morning. The baby can wait." My mother yelled at the top of her lungs. The whole neighborhood woke up. He got into the car. My father, poor guy, drunk as a skunk. He got in. We all got in. And at 7 a.m., I was born. The man who makes the mistakes had been made. Fast forward a few more years to when I was 6 years old. And I had this peculiar fear of turning off the bathroom light. Now, to explain this fear, we have to go back to the village in India. You see, in the village, the toilet or the bathroom is a distance away from the main house. Now, in case you're wondering why, it's because if things go badly in the toilet, the house is safe. But the problem with India is we have these huge cockroaches. And they're no ordinary cockroaches. They're special. They can fly. So I used to take my shower in the corner of the bathroom, praying that the cockroach decides not to fly today. And when I was done, I used to switch off the light and make a dash for the main house. Now, I imported this fear to Kenya. When I used to take a shower, I used to do it in my parents' bathroom. I finish off, dry myself off, switch off the light, and run into the parents' bedroom, across the hallway, and into my room. Now, one day, I was following the standard protocol. I finished my shower, I dried myself off, I switched off the light, and I ran, naked as a jaybird, into a room full of ladies. My mother's friends. Halfway through the run, I noticed all these eyes staring at me, confused and amused. This made me run even faster. I reached the door, but to my shock, it was locked. I made a U-turn and ran back into the bathroom, the dark bathroom. You see, I'd much rather face the monsters in there than the ones out here. Needless to say, after that day, my fear of cockroaches, dark bathrooms, and monsters disappeared. Fast forward a few more years to when I was 13 years old. And like many boys that age, I had to face the knife. You all know what that means? If you don't, you'll have to Google it, because the rules prevent me from explaining any further. The surgical procedure was done, and I was taken home to rest with nothing but a kikoi to cover me. Unfortunately, that day we had guests. Even more unfortunate, they had a daughter my age. You see, my parents told her parents that I had faced the knife, but they didn't tell her because she's a child. She happily skipped into the room, ready to play hide and seek as usual, not knowing that that day I would rather just hide and not be sought. She came closer. I said, "Stop!" She said, "Why?" I said, "Because I have a flu and I don't want you to get it." She said, "Oh, that's so sweet, Matthew." To my relief, she left the room. Not to my relief, I heard her say to her parents in the next room, "Mom, Dad, I think he got it from me. I had the same thing last week, but now it's gone." Needless to say, her parents never came visiting a long time after that. Ladies and gentlemen, these three stories tell you why I'm like this, full of mistakes, more than the ordinary person. Have you made a huge mistake in your life that you were hung up on? Well, I'm here to tell you that it happens to all of us, but you come out of it a better person. It's also okay to laugh at yourself. Because if you don't laugh at yourself, people will laugh at you. If you do laugh at yourself, people will laugh with you, like you're laughing with me. So ladies and gentlemen, I invite you, take off the towel, take off the kikoi, and let's make mistakes, and let's laugh at them. Because man makes the mistakes, and mistakes make the... Mr. Conscious Chair.
Write a short speech on any topic that interests you. Then, choose what type of speech you're going to write. And have a video recording of your presentation and send it to me through my DepEd email at leda.butanilan01@deped.gov.ph and in my messenger, Leda Humayus. Communication is a skill that you can learn. It's like riding a bicycle or typing. If you're willing to work at it, you can rapidly improve the quality in every part of your life. This is Teacher Leda saying thank you, God bless, and keep safe. Bye-bye!